offensive, you don't have to like blur my mouth.
Oh, because your mouth is visually obscured.
Mm-hmm. You could add any sound you wanted to, and it would appear that I'm saying it.
Well, when we have a really messy breakup, you and I, and I want to bury you in show business forever. I'll try to find a spot, and then I'll edit it so it looks like you said something horrible, like butthole or something like that, and then there will be no coming back.
Man.
All right, should we start?
You'd have to splice a time when I said butt and hole and then put them together, because I've never said butthole on the air. I'm a professional.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Sex and the City. My name's Kevin McCaffrey, and I'm here with your friendly neighborhood fella,
John the Butthole Daily.
John the Beehole Daily. John, would you say you are the beehole? Not even a butthole.
I'm not a beehole. I'm the beehole, baby. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm the proto beehole. I'm the beehole your mother warned you about.
Oh, damn. Me versus the beehole she told you not to worry about. It's a whole mood. 2020. John, first of all, we are recording video on this one too, so this will be up on YouTube, and I said it before we were recording, but I very much like your look. I'm spelling it Lewk. I like
Ooh.
It. A Hawaiian shirt you're bringing to it is Hawaiian, right?
I haven't checked the label. It's probably Vietnamese, but sure. Yes, it is a Hawaiian-ish shirt. There's palm trees. There's... Yeah, that's what they should. The tourist board in Vietnam should really pick up on that. But no, it's lovely. It's a lovely shirt, and I don't know. I think it brings people joy. People look at me through binoculars, or however people are looking at me, sure. And they see, oh man, this guy really has a lust for life.
You do have a lust for life. My hot accessory I'm wearing today, as you can see on my arm, a little cotton swab and a Band-Aid. Your boy went to an urgent care and got 2 COVID-related tests today.
Damn.
So I did the antibodies thing. That's the arm, and then I had the swab up both nostrils. So I did that stuff.
Yuck. At the same time?
No, he did one at a time, and then moved on. So yeah.
Is it how uncomfortable is it? I look at the pictures and it looks very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I would say it was what I would deem to be unpleasant. But it didn't hurt as much as I thought it might. It just like I would call it a bad tingle, which sounds like I'm describing being molested, right? But that it was sure. it was a bad tingle, I would say, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm trying to meet my new niece soon, so I was doing all the tests and stuff.
Wow. It's I mean, man, it's good. You must a lot of times, sometimes there's like meetings where it's like you maybe I don't want to, you make an excuse not to do a thing or whatever, but you're having to jump through several hoops to go meet this niece.
Yes.
So there's no denying it, Kevin. You want to see this baby.
I want to see this kid. So yeah, that's our style corner. I've got a Band-Aid. John's got a Hawaiian shirt. Should we just get straight into this fucking episode, John?
Yeah, after like 15 minutes of banter. Yeah, let's just get right into it.
Let's get right. What if we never get into it? This is if this is the April Fool's episode and we just banter and then, well, that's all the time we had. We never get into The Catch. This is episode 6.8, The Catch. John, what was this episode about?
This is the one I've heard stories about this on people talking about these episodes. Oh, it's this episode. It's the episode where Miranda hopes to haul in a keeper by dating an Alaskan king crab fisherman.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then also Samantha has a 3-way with Jerry Rice and Joe Montana. So
man, that's the second time Jerry Rice has come up in my life today. People don't talk about Jerry Rice enough, the greatest receiver of all time.
And he did what in the Super Bowl? He made a catch. That's right.
He famously, people talk about it all the time. Jerry Rice in a Super Bowl caught the ball. You can't say he didn't. It's on tape. Follow us at Sex and the City. It's on Instagram at Sex City. It's Pod on Twitter. And this is the HBO recap, even though John's was basically perfect. This is episode 6.8, The Catch. Carrie considers the idea that a true catch may ultimately be having a strong safety net. Strong safety! That's a football reference. A strong safety net to catch you when you fall. Charlotte has an important photo taken for the New York Times, but things are not picture perfect. Miranda hides at the thought of meeting Steve's girlfriend, Debbie. That's true, but a weird way to put it. And Samantha extols the merits of expiration dating. And we're just in stunned silence because that's such a good recap.
I'm surprised they sort of gave away one of, sometimes like during these episodes I'll write down like a line that I think is good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But expiration dating is like a good turn of phrase they did in this that I thought was like an actual clever thing.
It was an actual clever thing in contrast to every horror pun they did. And I'm not even going to say, I'm going to say those puns were terrible. So I don't even get close to a pun in using the word, which you all know it's right there. I could if I wanted to. I'm not, out of respect for you and myself. Yes, expiration dating, much better phrase than all the horror stuff. And this is not a personal thing with Mario Cantone, but I said a couple episodes ago, I don't find him funny on the show. I don't find his character funny. Maybe he's doing great.
He's frantic.
Sure is. Frantic and shticky. It sounds like you're describing a problem. Let me put in frantic and shticky on WebMD real quick and see.
Suspect is getting away on foot. He is frantic and shticky. I repeat, he is shticky.
God, he's just doing the friggin' Russian dance thing, kicking the legs out from underneath as he escapes. Very shticky. This episode was directed by Alan Taylor, was written by Cindy Chupak. This aired on August 10th, 2003, and it caught, you might even say.
You might say. You're doing the thing now. You're making the pun.
6.64 million. Or not million, that's the rating, was 6.64, roughly that many million.
Man, 0.02 away from the number of the beast, Kevin.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And our...
Hey, shout out to our man, Satan.
God, I hope the real heads, the real Sex and the City fans know we have one-star review on out of all the episodes we got one-star review is someone who listened to 69 episodes and then heard John joke about being a Satanist and unfollowed us and hates us. So now John actually, out of spite, have become Satanists, and now it's real to us. We worked ourselves into a shoot, and that's where we're living now. So yeah.
So I kind of I want to thank that person for showing me the dark light, I guess.
Yes, that's a good turn of phrase.
Yeah.
John, do you like it when I say John with the tone going up? It really means the show's kicking into a shticky and frantic gear.
I imagine that's where you know how to cut back in after like a chunk maybe. It's like you say, John. It's like, now we're getting serious. Now we're getting to a plot point.
That I should have given myself a safe word since I edit all these fucking things. So I could come back in off the bullshit. That's the thing. For people who watch any of this on YouTube, all the bullshit's in on YouTube. The YouTube episodes are like 20 minutes longer than the regular one. I know you listen to the podcast, you're like, this is definitely too long. Could it be any longer? It actually could and almost always is. And that's on YouTube. So, John.
Good. Yes. You've got my attention.
Where? I got my attention. Where do you want to begin?
Wow. Man.
Well, actually, let me take my question away from you and answer it myself like a horrible conversationalist.
Horror.
You did it. You did it this time.
I did it. I'm the bad one.
Carrie begins by saying, my career had reached new heights. And I thought she was going to say something else. And it's just my editor wanted me to do a trapeze class. My question what the fuck is happening here? Why would an editor pitch this? She's a sex writer. Why is she going on a trapeze? Why is that
very
pitched?
weird? It's very weird. It's for New York Magazine, and they're not the most super newsworthy sort of magazine, especially I assume back then. Maybe lately there's been more newsworthy items that get their attention, but yeah, I don't know. It seems like a weird pick. I mean, I guess like there's like sex swing. She does make like a swinging pun as well.
Yes.
But yeah, it definitely doesn't. It just seems like a vehicle for. It's very heavy-handed metaphor for later on being caught, having a catch and a safety net and all that.
It feels, yeah, that metaphor did not hit for me, you know. But I mean, I understand it. I'm not an idiot, but but it didn't feel real. It didn't feel like it clicked for me.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, John, I have a question. So what?
Yes, I am wearing a Hawaiian shirt now. This is it, baby.
What is it? I can't see.
I'm sorry, I forget this is an audio medium. American Honey. I'm back at it.
You are back at it.
So good. It's so easy to drink, and it's so sweet and delicious. It tastes like candy. It gets you drunk. It is only 35% alcohol. 35.5%.
Yeah, that's still. You can have some fun with that, though. I'm rocking gin and diatonic as I was last time too. We've been on a consistent roll here, John. Booze wise, we've been finding finally.
Well, I don't know about you, but I buy it by the half gallon, so it's
so it's gonna last you until it doesn't, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So, all right. So we've got that trapeze thing, and she is on it for hours, while Stamford is looking the fool, I would say. Style-wise, maybe this is great, actually. I will allow that maybe his style is great here.
He basically looks like Andre 3000 or something. He's a Poppin' J. He's wearing a purple suit with like paisley pants and some shit. I don't know. It's pretty good. I don't know if I'd wear it to a trapeze, but
yeah, I'd maybe dress up a little bit for a trapeze class. And he's just hanging out, watching Carrie do her thing for a couple hours. And Carrie's, what I also thought for a beginner class, they're doing some like wild shit here. You would need some athleticism. And the one thing she can't do is she can't trust the man, and she can't sort of let it go to be caught. You know, she can't. So it's like she can't let herself go that extra inch. You know.
I do. I mean, anyone who's taken a trapeze class will tell you that this is a classic trapeze trap. The trapeze.
Yes. I have a question.
Fall into.
How do you avoid taking a trapeze class these days? What a relatable thing.
They're just it's so ubiquitous. It's hard to not. They're so affordable. They're so prevalent. Everyone's talking about them. You don't want to go to a dinner party and then everyone's talking about their trapeze class, and then what are you going to talk about?
Yeah,
your sourdough starter,
yeah.
Idiot.
You fucking dumbass. I do like that he says something about like grab onto the bar, and she's like, I'd go to the bar. Does everyone say that? And the actor did a very good job. He's just like, pretty much. It was a really good understated. He wasn't selling it like in a jokey way, but it made it all the more funny. So good job. That guy.
Exactly. It made me think like, is this guy actually an actor, or did they actually get a trapeze guy? I mean,
it's that good acting.
Yeah. I mean, I assume that SJP also has no trapeze background.
I would assume that too.
I don't know, because like even like there's like if you're gonna do like a quasi sexy dance thing, which this is not dance at all, but a quasi sexy activity or whatever, like those like things where you're like dancing in a silk ribbon or whatever and like hanging from the ceiling, like that's a fun sexy thing. But like a trapeze, no one's doing that. It's not. Yeah. And like, what's the article? This is a weird thing that you can do. It's what 200 words, maybe.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a lot there, but that's how we kicked off. And then I mean, does brunch happen right after this, or some stuff before that?
Oh man, I don't even remember. Oh yeah, I guess they do have brunch because that's when what's his face stops by. Um, I
But I
guess
guess
Samantha gets stuck in a dress. That happens before brunch, right?
Samantha's got zipper problems, and she, that is a thing. Yeah, anyone who's spent any time with a lady has been asked to zip up the dress every once in a while. So that is a difficult thing, even though it seems like there should be a system so it would be easier to
Right.
do it. Because it's not even a matter of fitting into the dress; it's just like a hard to reach thing.
Right.
I think.
Exactly. And like the zipper, and then there's the eyelet at top too, which is like that's gonna like you're doing it backwards and behind your back or whatever. Like it's impossible.
And then
Again,
Sam,
guys don't have any of these fucking problems. It's like
no, I
good
put
for
my
us.
pants on. It's like you're done.
I tuck my shirt in my undies so they don't come out.
Yeah. Cufflinks are tricky. Ties can be a little tricky. Ties, I guess.
Right.
But,
I mean, cufflinks have basically been fucking excised as far like only if you went to like a state dinner would you wear cufflinks anymore, basically, right?
Yeah, when I was doing like corporate gigs, when I was hosting corporate award shows as like a side gig as a comedian, basically. I mean, I guess just as like an event host, but I would have to. What are you laughing about?
I'm just like, I mean, basically, I was like a Tom Bergeron type, or just like a classic host, I guess is what you'd call it.
That's Tom Bergeron type. That's you projecting, my friend.
Oh man, I wish I could tilt the camera to show my wall of Tom Bergeron that I have in my room. My dream board. My dream Bergeron.
It's all Bergeron stuff, and just sometimes I'll be like, it's a kiwi plant. Is John into kiwis? No, Tom Bergeron's favorite fruit is kiwis. It's just everything is related to Bergeron in his room. It ties together.
I need a mind palace of like what Bergeron likes so I can get into his skin.
Yeah.
Like Will Graham and Hannibal.
All right. So Sam, then she is like, I could use some help with this dress. And she calls up Smith, and she has a face that she's mischievous. She's thinking about sexy things. She's thinking about sexy stuff. And then she says, hey, Smith. And you're like, oh, here comes some funny Sam thing. And she goes, want to come over and do me? And it was like, was that the placeholder one? Did we do that one? And like, don't worry, we'll cover it later. We're going to come up with a real She's just like the least effort she's ever put into a sexy comment.
Yeah. Just like even say like get me. She's trying to take off the dress. I believe is what's happening. So why not even just say get me? Hey, you want to come take off my clothes?
Yeah, I'm having trouble getting off. Could you, this dress? ...
I just want to be clear.
Yeah. So
that's happening. How do you want to proceed, Kevin? Do you want to say what everyone's doing pre-brunch and then hit brunch?
We could do that. Actually, I'm just going to close out Sam's storyline because
cool.
And we can. She and Smith are dating now, and Smith is clearly more into her. They're both into each other, but she's more hesitant to admit that she's into it. Smith is saying things like, "I'm gonna miss you," And
I kind of wanted to about this zipper thing. Like they started talking about single people problems, right? Where it's like, I don't know. I haven't been single in a long time, obviously, and guys on average have less problems than women. Especially with those regards. But like, I don't know. Are there any other single people problems, Kevin, that you can think of? I know you haven't been. If anyone's been single less long than me, or more not single,
you got it.
That's another way to say it.
There's a lot of ways you could say a lot of things. Yeah, I think it's a lot of social things, I think. Right, because the dress thing is a single person problem at home, but I think a lot of the single problems come up when it's like going out to dinner with a bunch of couples or like a wedding, going as a guest to a wedding, having a +1, that kind of thing. Showing up, going to an acquaintance's party where you don't know most of the people. You maybe know the host, but you if you're going as part of a couple, you at least have that person to talk to, right? But showing up on your own to a party, it's a little more socially it can feel more socially stressful, I think. But yeah, as far as sort of just like little quirky things
I know on 30 Rock, not to bring another show into this
Sure.
madness, but Liz Lemon was afraid of choking to death at one point. Like she ate a too big a bite of sandwich or whatever, and then had to like give herself the Heimlich on a countertop.
Well, that happened in this show, John. Miranda had that situation where
they both did it.
Yeah,
okay.
Miranda did it on the show where she had the Chinese food that she was ordering the same thing all the time, and then she almost choked to death. So choking to death, I guess, is a single person problem.
It's slightly bigger, yeah. It's just weird that it escalates so quickly. It's like taking a dress off, dying. Those are the two big ones.
Yep. But throughout this episode, you can tell that Smith wants it to be more of a real relationship. Samantha doesn't want that yet, or she's acting like she doesn't and trying to stay more distant. He says, I can't believe we're not spending my last night together. And he means his last night before he goes and films the movie.
He's leaving. He's going to Mexico for 2 weeks, apparently.
Yeah. And he's going to miss her. And she's like, well, are you dying? Then it's not your last night if you're not dying. And it's just like being real too cool for school about it.
Mm-hmm. And this is another thing where it's like, man, I thought last episode you sort of saw the light about how much you actually cared for this guy, but I guess we're backtracked away from that. I think it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back with these things, because like you can't just be at the end, because then where are you? You're done.
Yeah, because then no more story to tell. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I wonder how much was cut from this storyline, because she also said when you're on location, don't do anything I wouldn't do. And he's like, well, what's that? And she says, karaoke, I wouldn't do that. But I was wondering if she was going to go so far as to be like, if you want to have sex with someone, do it, because that's an actual conversation about like how exclusive are we? Because if she told him you should have sex with someone else, I think he'd be like, why would you say that? Like, do you want to have sex with someone else?
What a funny thing to tell someone. I think, hey, you should probably have sex with someone else. It'd probably be good for you. Why not?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never told anyone that.
No, you think everyone should only have sex with you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that, but I'm thinking it.
Sure, yeah. You're not going to encourage otherwise. So,
no.
Right. That's all I had for Sam.
I also, they get into this a little bit later, but like, he calls in from, and you can hear people doing karaoke in the background, and she is disappointed because that's the one thing she told him not to do.
You're right. Yeah. That was there. I forgot there was a lot of tension in that moment.
There was tension, and it was undercut by someone doing tub thumping in the background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were doing Chumbawamba. She said specifically that was in the deleted scenes, which I did watch. And she said, "Don't do anything I wouldn't do, like karaoke." And then he started blowing her, and then she was like, "Specifically Chumbawamba."
You chumbaed my wumba.
God damn. That's good.
But he does call in just to be like, hey, I'm thinking of you. And she doesn't answer because she's got fucking ice water in her veins. But what else does she have? She has this like fancy bracelet on because she's going to a fancy occasion that it will get into shortly. I won't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
But it involves one of the main characters getting married. And we'll just leave it at that.
It's the main character who always gets married and is really running away from the pack on this show because she's now had 2 weddings to everyone else's 0.
She's done lapped him, but I won't say who it is.
We won't know. But we'll catch up with that later. So, John, now you tell me where do we go there? Samantha's basically covered.
She's basically covered, but she's wearing this bracelet and she can't get it off. And it's again like, man, I wish this guy was here to take off my bracelet because he helped put it on. And it's sort of like, I don't know. And then we'll touch back on that. But it's an important plot point. You have to remember this, people. Remember, she's wearing a bracelet. That's it. What next? Let's go to Miranda, because that's also easy to do, cool. I feel like.
Yeah.
Miranda is, so Steve shows up, and he did what every father should do, and he bought his child a fucking awesome T-shirt at a flea market.
Mm-hmm.
It's a clown. It's a fucking spooky clown.
It's a particularly spooky clown.
Yeah, I mean,
think
everyone's like fully aware of how spooky clowns are, but this one, and like the kid, I mean, thank God. I mean, if the kid's wearing the shirt, he's probably not looking at it too much, just other people, so
right.
it's okay.
But he's
But
talking. Yeah.
the shirt's questionable, and he talks to Miranda, and then he's talking to her, and then he's like, "Oh, I went to this flea market with Debbie, and Debbie, got you this," and he pulls out a big candle.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like a beautiful gift for Miranda. What a wonderful gift.
Yeah.
Kevin, what's the best candle you've ever gotten?
You know my answer to this, don't you?
Yeah, I do. It's it's a Douglas fir candle from Yankee. It's a Yankee candle, Douglas
Mhm.
fir. It's a Christmas candle. You love it. So much.
I do like the candles that have like the Virgin Mary on the outside or like some weird saint. I think
You're such a Virgin Mary mark, Kevin.
yeah,
Damn.
I know, clearly. The answer, as you know, is I don't know. I got candles because you're supposed to have a candle in your bedroom. So like
Who says you're supposed to have a candle?
it's just like
in
it seemed like what grown-ups did when I was in college.
Mhm.
Like, so I think that's the first time I bought a candle in my life was to just like, all right, I'll have a candle over here next to the bed. And I don't know what scents vanilla's a nice scent. Cedar's good.
Cedar. Now, what are your thoughts on the candles? Now, these are, I mean, I don't want to change your opinion. The candles that have the thing in the center, the wicks, if you will, but it makes the sound of like wood popping or whatever, you know?
I don't need that.
You don't need it. It's so good.
Okay,
You
you're
should
into
try
it.
it. You know what? I just need to make a note about what I'm getting you for Christmas.
Cool. Yeah, you just missed my birthday with it.
I did.
by one
You know
day
what?
When we're recording this. But yeah.
Maybe it'll come late and you'll be able to have a nice summer candle.
That would be lovely. I could use to heat this up as I'm sweating on camera here. I believe it was Sam that said candles are the new like sad thing for women. Like candles are the new cats, basically. So I thought that was an interesting take on candle stuff.
Do you think what's the new candle then, Kevin? It went cat, then candle, what's next?
I don't know, man. I don't like thinking of anything as being a sad person thing to collect, because if it's a thing you like, I don't think any of it's sad. I played a Spider-Man video game for a while today. That could be sad for a 38-year-old, but it wasn't. I was happy. I had a good time. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm not. So I think it's a valid question, and if I thought longer, I probably would have something. But I typically don't think things are sad things. I think like. Confederate statues. I think if you're really into those, that's pretty sad.
That's sad.
If you're, just besides like evil stuff, I don't know. What do you think is sad?
No, I don't think it's like sad, but it is sort of like this is like a single person hobby, and I don't know, like. But no, not even that. I thought knitting for some reason or crochet or something like that.
Well,
but like people that are in couples do that, or people that aren't intensely lonely or whatever. I do know someone that did have birthdays for their own cats. Now that I think about it, and I actually enjoy hearing about that. I think that's great.
Yeah, I think that's.
I didn't date that person.
Yeah. Sure.
Nor would I have. Nor would I. I mean, it's extremely. I don't want to say repellent, but.
Hold on. Just played the sad trombone. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been playing more sound effects, John. I know you can't hear them, but yep. So
yeah. Maybe we should get. Yeah. Is there a whiteboard you can hold up to let me know?
Let you know what's up. Yeah. So she mentions that, and basically, it's Miranda is finding out that Steve's girlfriend now wants to meet her. And she is not fucking into it. And she's telling everyone at brunch, like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to meet this person. And part of it, as she says later, once she meets her, it's sort of like Steve's relationship is real. And I do get that. Like, if you're into somebody and then they're dating, it's like, okay, that's one thing. But then if you see them with the person, it hits different. It hurts in a different way, I think.
Oh yeah. You definitely don't want to meet the person that that like is basically replacing you. Because like, what's that look like? That's gonna be this person either sucks and like what I'm not as good as that person, or this person's great and like, well, I'm fucking useless. I might as well just walk off a cliff because I suck.
Totally. I want to use that soundbite as the just as its own to start the episode. Yeah.
But yeah. So she does not eager about meeting, and you know what? You don't. Here's the crazy thing, I think. If you don't want to meet someone, you shouldn't be sort of coerced into it or trapped into it in any way, especially like a new person's girlfriend, or like your ex's girlfriend. Like that, you never, and under no circumstances, should have to meet. And that's the crazy thing I believe in. But what does Steve do? What does Steve do?
He tries to sneak her. Like, he doesn't give a fucking heads up. Which is bullshit. You can't just bring her over. You have to give Miranda a chance to say she's not going to be there, which she miraculously kind of figures out a way to pull it off anyway. But you shouldn't surprise a person with someone who's like another emotionally charged person that they don't actually have to meet, you know? So that was bullshit when Steve's like not even acting like it's anything. It was just like, you know, talking to, I'm going to say an extremely New Jersey girlfriend, would you say, Debbie?
She sounded bridge and or tunnel.
Yes.
And I say that as someone that is a bridge or
bridge
a tunnel.
Boy. Yeah.
I'm a tunnel man. I'm a mole man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, you could hear the voice outside, and yeah, she certainly wasn't from Manhattan, I would say. But yeah, it's like, Steve, no, dude, no one, like, Miranda earlier in the episode was like not putting out, yeah, I definitely want to meet her vibes.
Right.
And then he just does it anyway. Like, this is the sort of thing where you're like, oh, the four of us should hang out. Although there's not like a fourth person. It's the two of them and then the one of her and then not another guy. But like, yeah, she shouldn't do that.
It's emotional idiocy from Steve. It's inexcusably dense. To just act like he doesn't get that this would be a thing at all and just bringing her over. And then Miranda makes a run for it.
She does. She cowers, which is not a great move. But also, I guess he has keys to her apartment. I guess that's part of the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which makes sense generally speaking, but you shouldn't be using those keys with your new girlfriend to come in. And so Miranda's hiding, and she looks great in the moment because she's going out to a fancy thing. But she tells Magda, cover for me, basically, and then goes into the room where Brady's like binky of some sort is. So she not only does she hide in the room, but she has to hide under the bed with a very good fat kitty cat. I love that. That was very
I kind of forgot she had a cat, and I was like, where did this cat come from?
Cat's been eating everything, dude. This is a poofy cat. And good actor cat. He's down to just hang out down there, so that was cute. And it's very like a scene from, you know, a thriller where the murderers are in the room and someone's hiding under the bed, whatever.
Kevin, have you, I gotta say, I'm on my belly a lot these days, looking under furniture for, you know, toys and clothes and whatnot. I don't think there's a piece of furniture in this house that I could hide under successfully. Like, there's no way my dumbass would fit under a bed, under maybe a desk, maybe, but like, certainly no one's gonna like miss me. Kevin's looking around the room right now. Kevin, oh shit. Someone's here. You have to hide. I mean, you have the closet. You have a closet. Was there not a closet in that room?
Right. The closet seems like it would be a better place to hide. I was looking for stuff I could fit under, John, anticipating that was your question. I do think I can squeeze my body under, but my head might be trouble. I think I have a fat. I think
you'll probably be fine as long as you just pretend you're a stuffed animal or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just a horrifying stuffed animal.
But yeah, she's under there, and we see Steve's girlfriend walk in. We see her feet. The pacifier falls down, and this is actually like very good. Is like, I think you just said it's a very good tense moment. It is actually like, man, is she going to be found out? It would be fucking terrible. You just die on the spot from embarrassment.
Absolutely,
if they saw you cowering under your own bed. Like, what the fuck are you doing there? Are you scared to meet me?
Right.
they drop the pacifier, and she manages to covertly toss the pacifier back out like it's no big deal. And so we see her nails too, Debbie's nails. So she's wearing shoes that are not super cute necessarily, and her nails, I think she's got a French manicure. It's acrylic. They're both acrylic. Right?
Yes, that's the line. I believe I saw her nails and her shoes, both acrylic, is what Miranda said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think they're doing so much to disguise her identity that like I want that payoff. I want the payoff of who is playing Steve's girlfriend.
Oh, I actually do know. It's Michelle Obama.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. And she was, because the hands had me confused there for a minute, but I guess,
yeah, I don't know, I forget, things were different then. It was before she was in the White House and stuff, so.
Okay, yeah. So the lighting must have been weird or whatever.
Right,
you know what I'm thinking it is, Kevin?
What?
I think it's going to be Cynthia Nixon in a wig.
Wow, that would be...
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be funny, yeah. Yeah, but you're saying they're going to lengths to hide her, almost like they hide the nanny in Muppet Babies, where you just never see her face,
and then she ended up being played by Dame Judi Dench
the
whole time, which was crazy, and the kids didn't understand, and it was the 80s before she was famous. So.
I'm with Miranda here. I don't want to meet this person. I don't like. I don't want to meet him, but also I was going to ask you: would you want Kristen to meet an ex, or like vice versa?
No, no.
100% same for me. Ever thinking about two women I spent any significant time with in my life meeting?
No.
Gives me
then
the
they
chills.
Combine power. They can swap information about you. It's a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah, no, I don't want that. I don't want that to.
I think it's trickier in this situation because it's like, oh, it's the mother of my child. So,
yes.
And he probably talks about her a lot. So this Debbie's probably like, well, I'd like to meet her. She sounds nice. I'd imagine like if Steve's saying a bunch of bullshit about her, then. I mean, then Debbie's probably not buying her a candle. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, like, if she thinks about it rationally like that, then, like, well, meeting her, just get it over with. Eat your vegetables, do it, and get Steve off your ass about it. But, like, yeah, you shouldn't have to. You definitely shouldn't have to.
No, and Debbie...
He's an idiot for doing it.
Right. Debbie basically is... I guess she's just like, if I'm going to be around, if this is a real thing with Steve, I'm going to meet this person. So let's do it. So I do get that, but yeah, I don't want that to happen.
I don't want your new wife.
Yes. And yeah,
they do say that they're, cause they just missed her. Hey, do you want to go to Blockbuster and rent a videotape?
Yeah, get a tape from Blockbuster. You can just hear her saying this as she's like chewing gum as big and loudly as possible.
Maybe she's from Boston.
Yeah, that's just where my head went. Yeah. And then Steve is just the corniest thing. Okay, but this time I pick. And it's like, and then they laugh for hours.
Too. I know, exactly, right? Jesus
Christ. So, and then, all right, that's it from Miranda until we get to the big event at the end. So one thing that also comes up during brunch, they talk about expiration dating, is, as you said, that's a good phrase. That's sort of a theme in this episode, which Samantha loves the idea of. She always wants an expiration date on the person she's dating. She wants to know this isn't permanent all the time. But Carrie's struggling with it, and it comes up because of what, John?
Because of what? I love this. This is sort of like a test. Did I watch the episode, Kevin?
Yeah.
Well, so the ladies are having brunch, and then who shows up? It's Harry. Oh, I guess we should mention before this. This does definitely happen before brunch. Charlotte and Harry are having engagement photos.
Yes, Charlotte and Harry are. The wedding is coming fast and furious here. So they do engagement photos.
They're in Central Park sitting on a rock on what appears to me to be a prayer shawl, but I guess I don't know too much about that. But anyway, she's doing her Charlotte thing by telling him to act natural. That classic thing where it's like, well, am I acting or whatever? Because he's smiling too much. And I get that. Like, sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I would smile and not show my teeth.
I should be better at smiling on cue at this point. It comes up in my life a lot. It comes up professionally. I should be able to take a good fucking picture at this point, and I can't consistently. It's hard
Kevin,
to do.
Do you want to try this? Do you want to do this one's just for my my Zoom heads out there.
Yeah, the Zoom heads, the
YouTubers,
YouTube people.
Do you want to do a 3, 2, 1 natural smile? A 3, 2, 1 pose smile. All right, you ready?
Yep. Count me down.
3, 2, 1.
See, my eyes are too squinty. Yeah, I don't know.
I try to not look at anything in particular, and my eyes are probably squinty too.
Yeah, but it's hard. And she's pressuring Harry, and he's being cool about it. He's like letting it go. Second wedding, do whatever you want. This is the second time she's stressing about getting an announcement in the Times, I think, too. And
right.
It's like
people who read the Times every day are going to be like, "Wait, is this a rerun?
Yeah,
there's a print the wrong thing here."
Yeah, exactly. You know, people hold up that day's newspaper to prove that when you do a kidnapping, that like this is today. There's too many Charlottes in it. You can't. We don't know if the kidnapping's from today.
No, yeah, someone's holding the paper. It's like, oh wait, Charlotte York's getting married? No, that's from 2 years ago, dude.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's just. It's a goof. It's a goof. So I don't like that she's into that. You, John, how was your engagement shoot experience? Do you remember an engagement shoot?
I'm looking over here. I don't. Did we do a proper engagement shoot? Well, no. Jamie took. Well, that was a baby bump, though.
Right. Jamie did your baby bump photos.
We had an engagement party. Yeah. But I don't think we did a. Also, we didn't put anything in the newspaper. And is that like a legal requirement?
Sometimes it's a requirement to do the name change, like it is.
Oh, okay.
It has to be published somewhere. So we were published in the Irish Times, I believe, of New York, and then like there was like a more sizable write up in the Terre Haute, Indiana newspaper.
Yeah,
they have a photo and shit. Yeah,
that's nice. Yeah, big news there. I guess it's like a big deal to get your name in the New York Times, get your wedding announcement there or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem.
It
did not seem very important.
Yes, I could not care less about such a thing.
But you know who does? Charlotte. She's a big form person, which comes up a lot in this episode. But they end up having like some cute poses. It turns out they do have some natural moments or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's good. They take photos. All right, cut to brunch. The ladies are brunching. Harry comes up. He's got the proofs, and he's also got his maid man, Howie. Howie, who lives and works or whatever in Portland, Oregon, I believe is what they said.
Oh, I didn't catch that. He's played by Brian Callen. So now we have the third person I was on a TV show with that's on this show. We had Mr. Too Big, John Enos, Judy Gold, and now Brian Callen, all from the True TV World's Dumbest family.
This guy did look familiar, and I should have guessed that he worked with Kevin McCaffrey.
Yes. So, but Brian Callen plays this Howie guy, and he's the funny guy is his vibe. He has a thing to say for everything at the table, and Harry's trying to hook him up pretty obviously with Carrie.
Yeah, he really gets in. I don't know. It's weird that like Harry seems very chummy with Charlotte's friends, kind of, because I don't feel like I haven't seen him that much interact with them too much.
We've seen him a couple times together, and they know that all the friends love Harry. Like he got over with the friend group,
right? So off screen or whatever. Yeah. But anyway, he directly says to Carrie, like, you two would be good together. Like while this guy's like definitely could probably hear what's happening, you know. So I don't know. It's very. Yeah, why even fucking whisper, dude? You might as well just like say it or whatever.
Yeah, but
you two
guys
should hang out. Yeah. But anyway, Howie, Carrie's not into it right now. She's hurt. She's coming off a breakup, so she's not like looking for it.
That, and also that he's only here for a week, so that's what brings up the expiration dating. Basically, is that she's like, well, he's here for a week. What am I going to do? And Samantha's like, have a fling. It's fun. And then they talk about there's an expiration on it. That don't treat that like a bad thing. Like take some of the pressure off and just have fun with it.
Yeah.
And Carrie struggles with that idea. It's hard for her to get on board with that, even though it's exactly what Samantha wants.
Mm-hmm. No, I get that because I don't know if I've ever. I mean, not that it's super come up a ton of times that I've been like, wow, man, this person really wants it from me. But no, I think it's
Who
gonna be
doesn't?
too short term. I can't do that. But I get it because, like, you're expending some sort of mental energy. I mean, for me anyway, it's like, well, you get invested in people. I don't know. I get invested in people when
Yeah,
it's
and
like, it's not just sex. I don't know. For me.
it's not sex. It's not just sex to me, damn it. Yeah, well, also, I think this is a thing that comes from you and I we don't have extremely extensive dating histories into our
Mhm.
like deep 20s and 30s, where I think eventually when you date a lot of people, everything gets more casual. But, sort of same. There weren't many people in my life that I was with and just like, well, this is over very quickly. You know what I mean?
Mhm. And I don't think Carrie's at the point now where she's like, I'm looking to settle down. But like, I don't know. There's been an arc or a bend ever since, let's say, her trip to San Francisco or whatever, where it's like, am I fucking around here or what? Like,
Yeah.
there's a point in my life where I would like to be married. So like, I'm not just gonna keep having casual sex.
Well, what Carrie says, when she's writing, she says, when you're young, your whole life is about the pursuit of fun. And then at some point, you get older and you turn cautious. Like, when did it stop being fun and start being scary? And I
Mhm.
think, that's, I think that's a thing a lot of people can relate to, even within a relationship, like within a single relationship, even if it's like kind of casual at the beginning. I think when it goes from fun to scary is probably when you catch real serious feelings, and
Mhm.
then like
Yeah.
everything has more of a weight to it. And then she's looking at every new relationship, sort of feeling all the ways it could go badly now, as opposed to going into it as like an adventure.
Mhm. Yeah. It's just almost starting with like, investment with skin in the game. So like you
Sure.
have something to lose. But
Yeah, but
you
yeah, I
know.
think that is a way that Carrie's changed recently. Is like now she's feeling cautious more, and she's worried more about about what could go wrong, and
Mhm.
that's this. So she doesn't call the Brian Callen guy
Yeah, he
Howie.
gives a business card. Man, Kevin, have you given a business card to a lady? No, you probably haven't. Surely you haven't.
I know I was
But when you
20.
were in high school, yeah, you were giving your business card
My
around.
business card was the TV show I was hosting. And that
Here's
was
a 3/4 inch tape.
yeah, here's a VHS tape of my college TV show. Just, you can email the website and it'll get to me.
Great. So they end up going to an engagement party. Or no, it's rehearsal dinner. I apologize. I was mixed up on that
You
at first.
better apologize. How dare you?
I
Yeah.
was confused while I was watching that, and I asked someone who was in the room, who shall remain nameless
Sure.
as well. But they pointed out that it was a rehearsal dinner. I thought that's a lot of people for a rehearsal dinner, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Nonetheless, this guy's Howie's there, and Carrie runs into him,
Mm-hmm.
and he does again. He's funny. He's quick. He's good. Arguably funnier than Jack Berger, which is like, oh
Yeah.
man, you're going from funny guy to funny guy here.
Right. That's true. That's like her type over the last couple is just like funny guys, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, he's playing it off casually, and he's not worked up about her not calling him, but he calls it out, and he teases about it, and then they end up having a good night together. Carrie decides she's kind of into it.
Oh yeah.
Well, to a point.
They have a
Yes.
good night.
Right. As John was refilling his drink, he started shaking his head wildly. Yeah. What if that was my take on it? Like, they had sex and it actually was perfect. It was the best sex that we've seen on this show. Like, what I think is he did a really good job. I honestly, so they hook up. The sex was so bad, clearly, that I thought for a second I was like, is this going to be a misdirect? And it's not actually them having sex. It's like someone else. Like maybe they like walk in. They tried to find a room to go make out, and these two people were going at it like this.
Cut to Steve and Magda banging.
Yeah. Oh God, ship it. Yes. So they go to bed, and he I wrote down jackrabbit sex, and
That's what she said. That's what she described it. I also wrote down jackrabbit sex.
Did you also write it down before she said it?
I did not write it down before
Oh
she
yeah,
said it. No,
that's what I wrote it down. It's like, oh wow, she said exactly that thing. But it's just Brian Callen. I mean, what a scene that must have been to film, where he's just thrusting as fast as possible, as fast and as hard as possible. And I thought like Carrie described this kind of sex very accurately. Like I hadn't heard it put this way, but she's like, it's masturbating with a woman instead of your hand, which is like, good. Yeah, that's a pretty good way to put that.
That's pretty good, and it's the spirit of masturbation. But I would say it's funny to think of myself like just jackhammering my own hand like that. Like that's not how guys masturbate. If you were curious,
that is a good distinction too. That and now, look, John, do I want to see you jerk it? No, but if you could blur it out the right way, would it be funny to see you jackhammer your hand?
Just keep my hand completely still.
Of course, that would be funny.
That'd be great. Could you hit me with MacGruber? The MacGruber. Because that's like what this is, and I mean, it obviously predates MacGruber by a lot, but yeah, he's so bad at it, and like. I don't know if Carrie almost secreted this out in the universe, because last week we know that she said that Berger was bad at sex to Berger's friends, and like he wasn't actually bad at sex, he was good, but like, man, this guy was like super bad at sex. I mean, it's something you don't see in this show a ton, where it's like someone just straight up sucks.
You don't see the embodiment of what sucking in bed is this way. And she said in the voiceover, again, pretty good writing here. She said, we had sex like teenagers. He had no idea, and I didn't say anything. You know, like, and that's I thought that was well put too, because that kind of stuff. However you're doing it wrong, I think everyone does it wrong when you're young, especially. And so, but who?
Right. It's the one thing you can't talk about. You can't talk. You know, I mean, I'm sure gonna tell my children how to make love, and yeah, So anyway, she hurts her neck during this. She gets a crink in the old neck.
How much of the crink in the neck was so she had an excuse to hang over at the waist and throw her boobs at the camera for the rest of the episode?
Yeah, I'd love if she went to Alan Taylor, who I believe directed this, and it was like, Alan, I've got a great idea. What if I hurt my neck?
My rack is just in peak form right now, and I would love to feature it a little bit.
I don't know. I have you ever heard anything during sex, Kevin? Have you ever gotten I feel like guys are more prone to hurt their neck during,
during certain activities. Is that
going downtown for the ladies?
Downtown for the ladies. Yeah, I don't think besides like mild cramping up and like, oh, I gotta shift here, I can't do this specific thing anymore, like I got a leg cramp or something. I don't think I've been injured during sex, I wouldn't say. I pulled my groin something serious in college, and that made I was less able to I was less able to play the game the way I wanted to for a while, but that wasn't injured during sex. That was
right.
Yeah, how about you? Do you have any sex injuries?
It wasn't an injury. So it doesn't, I don't know. I doubt this is ever going to come up, and I'll leave space for an edit. Good. All right. So my brother was very cool, and he had an apartment in the same place as in Frankfurt that I lived, separate from my mom. I was still in high school, and he had graduated and was still living in town or whatever. Anyway, he would let me use his apartment for hanging out purposes, And I went there, and then we were in the midst of the act in flagrante delicto, if you will.
Yeah.
And then, but it was like hot. It was summertime. It was sweaty. We didn't.
Oh, I
don't
thought you
know.
were like, oh, it was sexy though. You got to understand, it was hot. It was we
sexy.
were yeah.
It was a couple of high school kids, and it was very high. It was very it was very sensual. It was very erotic and steamy.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, people had worked up a sweat, and then I don't know if I didn't know like his whole setup, like his AC or his fans or whatever. But I turned on like a fan that was there, and apparently it was a fan that had not been used very often, and it was comically filled with like soot or grit or whatever.
Oh my god!
And it just fucking blasted both of us with
Oh,
like it was like the thing like getting tarred and feathered.
Yeah, because you're sweaty, so it's gonna stick to you. Oh my god, this sounds terrible.
It was so. I mean, it's absolutely. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Oh,
I mean, it didn't play out like super good at the time, but
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it is genuinely funny. I mean, you're talking the Joe Pesci scene from Home Alone where
yeah.
he gets, literally feathered, right?
just like fucking and from like a foot away, dude. It may not even a foot, probably. Like it's like so hot. Let's fucking put the fan on.
That's
so
pretty.
bad.
That's pretty great. That's a good scene. So it's not an injury, but that's a good a funny, embarrassing, or not embarrassing.
I'm gonna feel like an absolute tit if that happens in this show in the next 10 episodes.
And I
or
hope
whatever.
you feel like a tit. I hope you feel like one of Carrie's tits because they were doing great.
Woo!
But yeah, so she has a sprained neck. She's dealing with that as they show up to the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
They show up to the wedding, and Sanford Blatchford's her date. He's wearing again another purple suit. She's wearing a purple dress.
Let me drop in one thing before this. They get the New York Times the morning of the wedding, and they do the thing where they slept in the same bed.
Exactly. Yes, we noticed that too here.
The night before the wedding. Did you sleep in the same bed as Kristen the night before the wedding?
No, when you say that, and again, let's backtrack even one more step.
Yeah.
Because at some point she's with, and when I say she, Charlotte is with Mario Cantone,
Mm-hmm.
and then as she's showing off her wedding dress to him, Harry comes in and she absolutely flips her lid. Because the guy, again, prim and proper, shouldn't see the woman in her wedding dress. And so much as this is a thing that definitely still happens all the time. Great lengths are taken to make sure a man doesn't see the woman in a wedding dress.
Yes,
which is absolutely a hilarious.
Like,
this is a superstition that matters, folks.
And it can be kind of fun. It can be fun to have the teams sneaking each other by each other. I have enjoyed being a part of that kind of sneakery. To give your wedding a shout out. They
do go to all the lengths for this superstition, and then. Oh, I'm so glad, Kevin. What did you do? What I mean, I don't know if I heard about this at my wedding. This happened?
Oh, I just used the word sneakery. So that was the shout out
I'm
to
sorry,
your wedding.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's right.
But yeah, much more with my brother Joe and Natalia in Colombia last year. There was a lot of trying to sneak them, sneak the bride by Joe, and yeah. So
they really have a lot of she, especially Charlotte, has a lot of hang-ups about traditions like that, except that they spend the night in the same bed prior to the wedding.
I didn't do that.
I didn't do that either.
We split
Absolutely
it up.
not.
We split it up, and I think that's the fun thing to do. Make it more of a fucking arrival, But out of all the traditions, she wakes up with her husband to be, and then she checks the New York Times. She has an ink spot on her face. That does suck. It is too bad, and apparently it printed like that in many of the papers. So she calls Carrie to figure it out, and she's just like, "This is bad luck." And
even past bad luck, it looks bad. It's a Hitler mustache. She calls it a Hitler mustache, and she's like, "It's a Jewish wedding or something." It's like,
yes,
it's you know what? It could be a Christian wedding. It's still bad.
It's still not great to have a Hitler mustache, but it particularly bad during a Jewish one, as we now know. Charlotte is America's foremost Jewess. Is her current position.
And I just wanted to do a quick shout out, and I know just to make the episode a little bit longer, Kevin, that they had a good thing where the newspaper hit the floor, and that's what woke up Charlotte. That was, I think, praiseworthy. A good directorial. Alan Taylor on his game on this one.
Nice shout out. During the Cantone thing, she also said, "Don't say bride's beaver," in front of the dress.
In front of the dress.
Yes, I thought that was cute. She's like, "Don't say that in front of the dress." So they wake up and she's sweating a lot of bad luck things. You know, they get to the wedding, everyone's there, and then Carrie sees bad jackrabbit sex guy, who's the best man, and she's sort of trying to dodge him a little bit, and he's like, "I got this hotel, come over," and she's like, "We'll see," and then he gets really mad. And he said, if you, he's basically like, he doesn't like that she says, "I thought it was a one-night thing." And he says, if I knew you were going to use me, I wouldn't have made love to you like that.
I knew you'd love that, Kevin, because the way you make love to people, you absolutely, you evaluate your relationship with them and then make love to them accordingly.
Yes. Yep. You can tell what I think about you by how I make love to you. Is that what you're saying, John?
Yeah, of course. So, like, I mean, if you don't respect someone, you're going to give it to them a real slipshod manner.
Yeah, I guess. I don't even know what kind of a deal that would be. But yeah, so that's a funny line, whatever, and then he's just bumming out for the rest of the episode. And then the wedding is basically, many things happen. It's a clown show of sorts. It's like, I actually don't think the wedding's as bad as they make it out to be, but Samantha, callback to what you teased earlier, they're at the wedding's happening, and Samantha's fucking with her bracelet, and the bracelet goes everywhere, and then everyone in the middle of this wedding is picking up the things.
They're trying to pick up things. Also, apparently you're supposed to drink from a cup at the same time. Not at the same time, but, and then that spills on her white dress, and that's like, oh, this is a tiny thing that happened. And there's pearls on this bracelet. They fall on the floor. People are trying to pick those up. He's trying to smash the glass under his foot, and he can't. And apparently that's another well-known thing for bad luck.
Yeah, the Mazel Tov moment, and it's yeah.
So yeah, this is Samantha. Like, the bracelet's like a handcuff, dude. It's like a handcuff, and she's like at this wedding ceremony. And she's watching these people get bound. She's like, she feels this like, oh man, fidget. And
look at that.
It's too much and it breaks apart. So I'm going to say that doesn't bode well for them, as a foreshadowing thing, but maybe it'll work out.
For not boding well for who? For
Samantha and
Smith.
Smith Jared. Yes.
Right. Yeah, good symbolism, Catch. Nice work. You're really feeling Alan Taylor's directorial style. And I mean, the writer, Cindy Chupak, also had something to do with that, I'm sure. But
sure.
Yeah, you're an Alan Taylor guy now.
He's great. He's my Spielberg, baby.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it's just cursed. And then as they're leaving, as they're turning, all this is happening. Also, the fucking guy says, "Mouths fuck you" to Carrie, which is
during the ceremony. Howie mouths "fuck you," and Carrie has a good reaction where she's like, "What?" with her eyes. That's funny.
I don't know, man. This is such like a Hollywood thing too, where it's like, during a wedding ceremony, like how I've never made eye contact with any of the bridesmaids ever. I don't know about you, but
sometimes I like watching for a reaction, like seeing how people are marking out for seeing how they're reacting to different things. And you and I both groomsmen a pretty good number of times at this point, so it's like it's fun to fun to do.
Right, but I feel like I'm too worried about my own performance standing up straight or whatever.
The most stressed I was during, bless you, was when I was best man for your wedding, and I had the speech coming up. But when you're the best man, and John and I have both given speeches at multiple weddings too at this point, but you can't really relax until the speech is done. Even if you're people who are used to talking in front of crowds and stuff, it's still like you want to do right by the couple. So
Right.
you're focused on that until that's over. Also, I
Mhm.
had to tie a Celtic knot in front of everyone at John's wedding. And it was complicated. And that was another thing. That was the thing I was most stressed about. And I was a little shaky with it, tying John and Kristen together. But you can really see on the video, you guys looking at each other and Kristen being like, I think Kristen's genuinely like, that didn't work. And then
Yeah.
it did work. I did it right. It was fine.
We were both very surprised. We both popped because we were like, "Oh man!" I mean, could you imagine? Like, this is our lives being tied together, and it didn't work. Well, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been a Charlotte and Harry thing. So
It
I guess in that way, yeah, I can feel where she's coming from.
Right.
So they, but yeah, absolutely. About it's like performers have a green room for a reason, so they can sit in there and like just think to themselves or whatever and not be distracted. So, but like, and in many ways, I assume that this is like the, you play a lot of audiences or whatever, but for most people who are best men or whatever, or maids of honor, this is like the largest group of people and by far the most important group of people that they're going to talk to.
Yeah, they're not strangers.
Mm-hmm.
There are some of them maybe, but like these people, there's people here who are going to remember what you do here tonight forever. So yeah, it's a stressful thing, which your boy Howie does not handle well. But they basically and Charlotte almost falls on the way out, and
Harry catches him.
The catch. Harry has the catch, and then Charlotte ends up with Carrie in the bathroom, and she's like, "This is the worst wedding of all time." And Carrie gives us our clip of the week. So John, if you want to back away from that mic for a second, I will play Carrie giving Charlotte a pep talk. Boom. So let's get to that reception so you can fall in a cake or something. That was funny to me at the end as Carrie finishes telling Charlotte that, yeah, you already had the perfect wedding and that marriage sucked. So she has a good turn here. She's like, everything bad here is good. If you're talking luck, it's the opposite game. It's opposite day. And then she and Harry start having fun with each other a little more. But yeah, Carrie had a lot of wisdom there, being like, you're missing your wedding. Mm-hmm. You're missing it. Stop sweating every detail and feel some of this.
Right. And I have a couple. So one is like, this is like, oh, a bird pooped on you? That's good luck. And that sounds like bullshit, but it's like, man, a bird just pooped on someone. Can we give them something in their lives? Can we tell them something to make them feel better about themselves?
Right. Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, this is, everything went fucking pear-shaped at your wedding. It means this is going to be a great wedding. Great. Perfect.
Yeah. What do you remember anything from your wedding that went yeah, wrong?
I know. And the other thing I was going to say was that weddings, you don't remember the things that went right? Things that go according to the book, like, yeah, that's standard wedding shit, right? Yeah. And then, you show up at your wedding. How fun is that? No, it's no fun. You're at your rehearsal dinner the night before when you're upstate and it's Memorial Day and you realize you don't have any pants to get married in. And it's like, wait a second. All right. Now this is a conundrum.
Yeah. Now John has to turn into his hero Poirot and solve a mystery about how to go find pants, which he brought his best man along for. And it was a secret mission that everyone was like, what's John's secret thing? And I was like, I actually can't tell you. He doesn't want to tell anyone until this is over. But John and I we were upstate New York. John didn't have pants for the wedding. And so we had to go get pants Memorial Day weekend. And there was a Men's Warehouse in Kingston, New York, I think, that we went and got. We found relatively matching pants.
They were, and because this was not a black tuxedo I was being married in. It was like a midnight blue indigo sort of number or something like that. But this is great to have Kristen in the room for this because she's like laughing at the shit I get wrong. But anyway, it was bluish. It was bluish, and so it's hard to match. But they fucking got close. They got close enough where people didn't necessarily notice, and that's good enough for me. Yeah. What a fucking time. Yeah. So, I turned into Poirot. Kevin, can you take Poirot to the Men's Warehouse? Take me.
Solving a mystery. Yeah. And you barfed on the way out there that morning.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing we have in common. I barfed on my wedding day too, because I was fucked up that morning.
Dude, you ordered a Caesar salad that day to settle your stomach. Well, that is hilarious to me. I'll never forget it.
I couldn't eat anything of substance in the morning, so I went with a salad.
You went with a Caesar salad. That's the anchovy shit, right?
There were no anchovies on it.
There's like little fish bits. That's the stuff in a Caesar salad. It's fish stuff, right? I think so.
There was no fish in there. There was no fish. But the point is, I was sick the morning of my wedding too, and it was dicey. And then we got there, and I started to round into form right before the ceremony itself. John is not listening. He's looking at.
I'm looking up Caesar salad.
No one cares. So,
I'm just saying, I care, Kevin.
But to the topic of what we're talking about, that's the thing that went wrong for me. And then the photographer was in the room, and I think he was scared to take photos.
Oh yeah, because you were fucking pallid, dude. You were.
Yes.
You were. Everyone else, like Weezer Rob, had tried to, and people probably don't. I'm just gonna start name dropping people. Sure. Listeners, so I don't know. But a guy named Weezer Rob, who was officiating the wedding for the most part, was offering up the college drink of choice, Bullfrog, to
Mountain
people.
Dew vodka Kool-Aid. Yep.
To people in the room, because that's like, oh man, this is like a fun thing that we all used to do together, and we're all getting drunk for Kevin's wedding. This is great. And then Kevin's like on the bed with his Caesar salad in front of him. Like, I don't know, guys. I don't think I could do that.
I literally barfed several times that morning. But then I told the wedding photographers, like, you got to take photos of me right now. This is the story. This is what it is. This is real. So now we have, so it's fun now. There's shots of like the Aleve bottle by my head and like me in the cloth. You sort of see me slowly make a physical comeback in these photos. And then we get there, and the wedding itself went great. And then, and then that was the main thing, I guess. Then we had like our closing song wouldn't play, so we ended up playing Under Pressure twice, and it was great. Everyone loved it. Yeah. The second time around was even better. So,
fun.
Anyway.
People remember. So the point is, folks, if something's going wrong, especially at like a big event, like a big ritual event, that's sort of like, if you have some stuff deviate from the run of the mill, that's totally fine. It's going to be good. And that's the shit you're going to talk about forever.
Yes, and that is what Harry and Charlotte start enjoying how things go wrong here. And the guy gives a terrible terrible best man speech, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Then I found it notable that Miranda was giving the speech for Charlotte.
I was wondering that too, because like earlier when Charlotte and Carrie was sort of like giving Charlotte the "everything's going to be okay" speech in the room.
Mm-hmm.
That seemed like, wait, is Carrie the maid of honor or whatever? Like that didn't seem right, and it just makes me wonder, like, man. And I couldn't help but wonder.
There you go.
How did Did Miranda bring Charlotte into this friend group? Like, was it? Carrie's obviously the straw that stirs the drink. It was like Carrie and Samantha, Carrie and Miranda, and then Miranda's like, you know Charlotte, come on. Hey, meet my other friends.
I would like to see how these friends met each other, and I bet that's in the Carrie Diaries. I bet, if we don't get to see it, but I would like the origin of that. I would be interested to see that. And then Miranda's giving a very nice, heartfelt speech, and then her paper catches on fire.
It's so funny. It's very good. And
pretty great.
It's good.
Pretty great. And then they like douse it and throw a drink on her, which is funny. And then Carrie and Miranda are talking at the end, and what Miranda says is, she goes, well, I lit myself on fire and I showed emotion in public. I think I'm done, when they're about to do the bouquet toss. And I thought that was very funny and oddly self-aware of her to be like, I don't show emotion in public too. I thought was fun, and like seemed like, oh, so you do know you. That's cool. And then the bouquet toss is great. It just straight up doinks Miranda in the head and she no-sells it. And it's great.
It is funny where it's like also that Charlotte, like, I mean, they're standing in the doorway. They're like not in the, presumably whatever the group of single women is, the throng of single women around for the bouquet toss. They're standing far away, I thought. But Charlotte overthrows it so hard that it does indeed doink off Miranda. And I guess she's going to marry her TiVo, and that's going to be very exciting.
Yes, I'd go to that wedding.
Miranda also wearing a plunging neckline, which I love. Showing a lot of side boob here.
I thought Miranda looked good all episode. Everyone's boobs look great this episode, and Miranda just looked good in general. Good style.
What if after we finish this run of the show, Kevin, we watch the episodes again and we, in order of how good the boobs look,
just boob review it?
It just gets from worst to best. We align them. We don't watch them in chronological order or anything like that. Just from.
I mean, honestly, this is the boobs are probably better now than they've ever been, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And they're only getting better, is what I'd say.
Hell yeah.
And I'm looking forward to season 6 AB.
Mm-hmm. Yes, A, B, C, D, double C, double D. So, yeah, and then basically the episode ends with, this is a thing I found notable, Jamie found notable. Carrie's doing a fucking trapeze thing to end the episode, and we hear Michelle Branch's song Breathe, and we realize this show doesn't often have a pop song of the moment in it, which I think makes it be able to feel more timeless for the most part. But so it really stuck out to me that Michelle Branch's Breathe, which is just like a top 40 radio song of the time.
Really put a timestamp on it.
Yeah. Right.
I didn't recognize the song, but I did recognize the sort of genre or whatever, where it's like, okay, this is what's happening. Also, she still doesn't make the fucking catch, which is like, oh, that's disappointing. But she misses the catch, but guess what? She's got her safety net, and her safety net is her friends. They were there the whole time. It turns out she wasn't teaching them, they were teaching her the whole time.
Yes. Perfect. That's
even
all
when Stanford Blatch was there, Kevin, even when Stanford was there were 3 lounge chairs, if you'll recall. And now her 3 friends are there to watch her fall.
Yes, and keep falling time and time again. John, is there anything we missed?
Mazel Tov Cocktail.
Mazel Tov Cocktail. That was a better pun, I would say.
It was a good one.
The horror stuff sucked. I'm on board with that.
That's bad. And then also just, I mean, I kind of didn't like Harry. First of all, I don't know if I'm just like particularly on edge about this sort of thing, but when a guy character says like a joke that no one should really be laughing at, and then everyone laughs at it for several seconds, it's like, something's wrong.
Yes.
This does not seem true to me.
Well, and you're saying that happened with Howie?
Yeah, when Howie, I mean, he had like, they were fine lines, but they wasn't like,
yes. Yes, they were fine. And everyone was like, oh my God, is he the funniest man alive? It's like, he said something mildly clever that played off of the thing you said. And then, but John, maybe it's just, we're just that good.
Right. Yeah.
So everyone seems like a jabroni to us, of course. Right. But
one of them was like, Harry was like, oh, I got the proofs for this and I'm going to take these things to the calligrapher. And then he's like, yeah. And then we're going to go look for his balls. And it's like, oh, because he's doing things for his fiance. Like, yeah, this fucking guy is getting married to a woman. What a fucking eunuch.
Yeah, exactly. And that they were all on board with it, where it's like, this is not ball cutting off behavior. Yeah. This is just having a thing to do.
Harry should have fucking taken those proofs and thrown them in the Hudson. He should have been like, fuck your wedding. Do it yourself.
Right.
Harry, you want the proofs? They're with my balls.
God, I have no balls. Follow us at Sex and the City. It's on Instagram at Sex City. It's Pod on Twitter. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back next Friday. But before then, if you have a minute, give us a rating or review. We'd love to see it. Thanks.
Kevin, do you want to go to Blockbuster and get a tape?
Uh-huh. Get me a tape.
I get to choose this time, though.